Cyber breach has sent shockwaves across the globe. An estimated 16 billion passwords have reportedly been compromised in what is being called one of the biggest data leaks in history. From personal logins to major platforms, no one may be safe. And we'll break down what this means, how it happened, and what you need to do right now in order to protect yourself. In fact, I'm currently joined by Jiten Jain, a cyber expert who will explain to us and give us the sense of what exactly it means. Jiten Jain, welcome to NDTV. First of all, contextualize the scale of this leak. How massive is it?
No, if you go by the numbers, I think it is one of the biggest leaks ever in the digital history. But at this moment, we are not sure that the 16 billion passwords what have been leaked are the new set of passwords, the current ones, or they include the passwords which have been leaked in the past 4 to 5 years, because there are so many data sets which keep coming in the market. So we're not exactly sure whether these all 16 billion ones are the new fresh, containing the new fresh leaks, or they also include the ones which have been, leaked in the past. But irrespective of that, I think the mere figure of 16 billion passwords being compromised is very alarming. It puts the privacy of several, social media users, email accounts at risk of account takeovers, account hijacking, ransomware attacks, digital identity theft and misuse of accounts. So it is obviously a very alarming figure.
Jiten, you mentioned that the details of this data breach is still being analyzed, etc. But what I want to understand from you is, are we also talking about banking passwords? How safe are the banks?
So that we don't know, but it appears from the messaging that right now they are talking about the personal login credentials of social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and Gmail. But you see, if the email accounts are compromised, then you can obviously reset the banking password. So even if the banking passwords are directly not compromised, you would be able to reset them using the compromised email accounts.
Tell me, if someone's credentials were part of this leak, what exact risks do they face right now?
I mean, if you give your password to someone else, the same risk you will face is the same risk every user will face today. So I think if somebody has your password, they can log into your email accounts, they can log into your social media accounts, they can hijack those accounts, they can kick you out of the account and take it over. They can use it to spread viruses, malwares. They can use it to spread launch ransomware attacks. They can steal your personal information. They can change your banking password, steal money. So anything and everything which is possible on a digital device is technically possible if you've got access to somebody's personal accounts.
When we say passwords, is not just passwords, but it could also be personal data that may get exposed as well, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So what are the immediate steps for everyone who's watching at this moment? What is the first thing that people should do if they are worried that their information was compromised?
I think you should change all your passwords immediately, and routinely also we must change our passwords every month. Second, you should enable two-factor authentication in all your accounts to ensure that even if the passwords are compromised, at least you have second layer of security. Though it is not a 100% foolproof method in today's age, where OTPs can be stolen using malicious plugin or browsers and all those things, and there are other ways to bypass OTPs. But still, it offers a great layer of security. Third, I think I suggest everyone that always keep a transfer limit on your banking account. So if you're using credit card, if you're using online banking, limit your account to the transactions you carry in routines. 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 rupees. If you want to do a big transaction, you can obviously increase the limit in the mobile app. It is all available these days. So there is no point in keeping 10 lakh, 15 lakh limits on the credit cards these days and putting your entire digital money at risk.
Jiten, as a layperson, this is a question that I am asking you is, how can someone check if their credentials are part of this leak? Is there any way that one can check if their credentials are part of if this particular leak?
There is a project called haveibeenpawned.com, HAVEIPWNED.com. So you can go on that website. You can type your mobile numbers or email IDs, and it shows whether your email ID has been part of previous password leaks or breaches. It shows you whether it was a part of Domino's leak or Zomato leak or whatever, hacks in the past. So that is one way to check. Second, obviously, you could always keep eye on your account for any suspicious activity alerts, Google sends or Meta sends. So that is another way. But I think for a basic layman who doesn't have much technical wherewithal, the most easiest way would be to go onto that site, haveibeenpawned.com, and check for their email IDs.
Okay.
And if they think that they've been compromised, they should contact an expert, or they should go to a forensic lab.
All right.
They should seek it.
What does this breach tell us about the current state of cybersecurity? Because this is a big question mark on this entire cybersecurity system as well.
Well, I mean, nothing is 100% secure in this world. You never know whether the passwords are obtained by, hacking or compromising a server, or whether there was a, internal leak, or whether there was a malicious employee who leaked the credentials. You don't know how it happened. But the point is, credentials have been leaked. And it does send some worrisome signals. And that is why, India also now has a Data Protection Act in place. We are yet to see the rules. But, almost most of the big democracies who are digitally savvy and who are putting their investments in digital technologies and digital public infrastructure are coming up with digital acts for protecting the data privacy, ensuring that some sort of basic cybersecurity compliance is done by even by the startups who are non-technical startups. And there is a standard operating procedures which are being defined for cybersecurity for banks, critical infrastructure like telecom, financial, and transport. So RBI has very strong guideline for banks. So your money is not that completely at risk just because of a leak. India is one of the very few countries where if you do a credit card transaction or where you do an monetary transaction, you have to have a OTP on your phone to complete the transaction. There are many few countries which make that mandatory. So in a way, we are much better than many of the countries which are digital savvy. We are doing great deal of work in last 2-3 years in terms of legal framework being put in place to ensure that social media companies are held accountable for your data privacy and data security. And in a way, they are compelled to make a good amount of cybersecurity investments out of the revenue they earn, so that otherwise, if the credentials are leaked and it is proven that the leak happened in the premise or in the infra of these digital companies, they will be facing penalties up to 5% of their total turnover globally. So, I mean, the huge penalties, huge mechanisms are punitive mechanisms are put in place by regulatory frameworks. But at the end of the day, only your own cyber hygiene can save you, not the security implemented by a social media company or law put in place. You have to be responsible for your own, cyber safety.
Jitin, you mentioned that this is not a 100% foolproof system, and there is a possibility that something like that can happen. Are we likely to see more attacks like this in the near future?
Of course, this will continue. I mean, the way our digital landscape is evolving, the way governments across the world are investing in digital public infrastructure, way every service, right from public services to government certificates to applications, tenders, social media, chatting applications, banking, everything is going online. So the way the digital surface is increasing in your everyday life, the attackers will also use that expanded surface to carry out more attacks. And in that bigger surface, there'll always be vulnerabilities, there'll always be exploits, there'll always be leaks. And this will in turn lead to several compromises. Some are significant, some are not very significant. But at the end of the day, these digital trails never go away. So once the password is compromised, it is not that it is compromised and your data gets leaked from the time it is compromised. It has a retrospective effect. Your previous entire history also gets leaked. And that is the most worrisome sign here.
And that is also the danger of being on the internet all the time as well. But Jitin, as far as prevention and protection is concerned, I want you to reiterate this. What can people and companies do to better protect themselves going forward now?
I think by law across the world now there has to be a standard SOP that suppose social media companies raking in $50 billion every year from revenue just by selling ads and selling your data. At least they should be able mandated to compulsorily invest 5 billion, 6 billion in cybersecurity, and you should obviously compensate a user for a breach. Three, there has to be a huge investment in the cyber hygiene, cyber safety education for the common citizen today. There are so many people, especially in countries like, continents like Africa and India, where 30 to 40% people log in for the internet for the first time in their life. Some are using smartphone for the first time in their life. They are not very particularly aware about the cybersecurity, hygiene mechanisms. They fall prey, and these are the people who are educated. They're not like less educated. They're educated people who are like working well in their lives, but they do not have cybersecurity understanding to protect themselves. So I think, irrespective of the literacy rate in your country, you must invest heavily into cybersecurity education.
Jitin, what would you tell the governments or the agencies who are responsible to protect these data, etc.? What would you tell them as a response to this breach of this particular magnitude? What should the government or the agencies be doing at this moment?
No, I'm sure our agencies in country like CERT would have definitely been keeping an eye on this entire issue. They would be responding in time. They have done it in the past. So government is doing. See, government cannot do anything alone. There has to be a consolidated approach where society stands with the government along with the tech companies to create a very secure cybersecurity ecosystem. And I'll give you an example how everything falls because of lobbies. Many years ago, you would have seen government wanted to come up with an idea where bank account openings and telecom SIM retrievals were to be mandatorily given only after biometric authentication using Aadhaar. There were a lot of people who opposed it. 10 years down the line, you see the 92% cyber frauds in this country today are OTP frauds, where small pittance of money, 10,000, 15,000 money has been stolen from the poor farmers or the people at the last leg of society. And this money is not withdrawn in cash. They go to some bank accounts. They go to some wallet.
Yeah.
So if 10 years ago, a part of our society had not opposed the mandatory biometric KYC for bank accounts and SIM cards, probably we would not have drifted at this stage where 92% cyber frauds today in this country are OTP frauds, financial frauds, and they remain, unsolved. The money is not retrieved. So I think we have cut our own legs. We are in a way destroying our own cybersecurity mechanism by fighting amongst each other. I think it is a time for judiciary, for governments to review and come up with the best possible solution we have. It is not that we have to invest or create something new for securing our telecom and banking sector today. We have got a very robust API in form of Aadhaar, which could be used for KYC on the fly for especially bank accounts and SIM cards. On the fly in 2-3 minutes. You don't need to send somebody to somebody's house. You could do instant KYC, and I think that should be mandated. And that should be mandated along with biometrics, not only just by giving an Aadhaar number. You should make the fingerprint mandatory. So there is a financial trail available, there's a physical trail available to, at the end of the day, find out someone who stole your money and recover it.
Okay.
Money cannot disappear from a conventional banking system.
Absolutely.
There is no way unless you allow someone to take out the cash.
Lovely. Jiten Jan, thank you very much for educating all of us and contextualizing everything for our viewers as well. Thank you very much. Well, the news continues here on NDTV. For the latest updates and breaking news, don't forget to subscribe to the NDTV YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.